So, hello everyone. Welcome to this week's special webinar with our ImmerseFX CEO, Mr. Jordan Markov himself, who takes the time. He followed our invitation to join our live webinars to talk about GYMSTREET, the metaverse from his perspective, and explain to you guys, show you everything that's happening behind the scenes. He will let you know how he became a visual effects expert, how he gained lots of knowledge and experience in that field, and how it happened that he is now the one to provide GYMSTREET with all the visuals regarding the creation of our virtual world right here. Now, I will do a very, very short introduction for those of you who may be completely new to this today. So to let you know what this whole thing is about so that you can better, add Jordan into the overall context. So to dive right into it, what we're attempting here at GYMSTREET, what we're doing is we want to be the first financial district in the metaverse. That's what we're creating here. It's not just some metaverse. As you may know, there are already many out there, such as the Sandbox, Decentraland, maybe even worlds like game worlds like Roblox. That's very popular. If you have children, you may have seen them play that game. That's also kind of like a metaverse. You can enter that virtual world, you can run around there, you can do things, you can interact with other players, you can build houses and do many things. And that's also what you will be able to do here at GYMSTREET. However, we are serving a concrete niche. As we already said, we're creating a financial district. And as this is derived from Wall Street being the most popular, most famous financial district in the world, and we have this, gym part in our brand name. So from Wall Street, we derived and called it GYMSTREET. And as you can see right here, that's our virtual world viewed, from the very top. Our GYMSTREET Island, or Manhattan, as we like to call it, by now, because it actually has the shape of real world Manhattan. But Jordan, I'm sure that you will also share a few words on that, how you are shaping the worlds, the buildings and all that. And you always seek to use real world parts, to go into the metaverse as well. And if we're now going to zoom in a little bit more, this is then what it looks like from the bird's eye view. If you've been playing games like SimCity before, you pretty much know what this is like. And that's going to be like our in-between version before we get to the full 3D virtual world that we're creating here. Although you're going to see that we actually already have it at an early stage, but it's already accessible. You can already play around with it. And right here, that's our tagline, the easiest way to experience finance. And what we mean by that, you will see it right here. If we just jump further into this next slide, we're now zooming into one of the buildings that we saw on the previous slide. This example shows our Vault building, which is one of our products, our DeFi product that we have integrated into our financial district in the metaverse here at GYMSTREET. And this is where you will be able to experience finance, because everything is going to be accessible via VR. You put on VR glasses, you enter our virtual world, then you can walk into these buildings and you can actually talk to service avatars that way. And this is why we like to call this experience finance, as you are going to see once things are ready, that this is a completely new experience, something like you've never seen before. And now let me introduce to you Mr. Jordan Markov, the CEO of ImmerseFX, the metaverse company that is providing everything regarding visuals, which is one of the most important parts, actually, because that's how you will, interact with GYMSTREET, with our metaverse. And as you can see here, Jordan has over 15 years of experience and very deep understanding of visual effects. And I'm sure that you will know by the end of his talk today that there's lots of, that this is not just, talk, but there's lots of actual knowledge behind everything that he talks about. And he has done many successful projects before already. He has collaborated with big Hollywood stars such as Mr. Sylvester Stallone or Jason Statham, as we're also going to see here soon. And now he's also providing the visual effects to help us create the GYMSTREET metaverse. But without me talking too much about all these things, let's jump right into his part. Jordan, the stage is yours. Let's hear what you have to say about all this. Thank you.
No IMDb, really?
Oh, wait a second. This is the part. Yeah, I see. I brought it up here. All right. Thank you so much for reminding me. So if you go to the International Movie Database, which is imdb.com, you can not only research movies here, but you can also research actors, you know, and any people from the movie business that are listed here. And if you type in Jordan Markov's name, so that's Jordan Markov with a V at the end, you will find him here. That's the first search result. And you go to his IMDb profile, you're going to see here what he's known for, like big Hollywood movies such as Criminal, where he worked with Kevin Costner here, Automata, that's Antonio Banderas, the complete Expendable series that is packed with all the action heroes that we love so much, such as Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Russell Crowe, and so on. And no, it's not Russell Crowe, it's the other Russell guy. But yeah, sometimes I'm getting the names wrong here. And without me talking too much about it, I just wanted to show you that if you come to his profile right here, you will see that he has already provided the visual effects for 114 movies so far. And those are only the ones that have been listed here already. And the list keeps getting longer, of course, as they keep working with more projects on a regular basis. But now let's stop. Let's have myself stop talking about these things and give the word back to you, Jordan, so that you can let them know by yourself what this is all about.
Thank you, Timo. As usual, great presentation. I am blushing, always shy to see what my career has turned into for those 30 years that I've been in the industry. Okay, guys, thank you for participating. Let's do that in a proper language that I can finally speak freely and not wait for a translation or not figuring out if my jokes are reaching out for you. Hopefully you understand my English perfectly this time. So let me start a little bit with what was my career and how I ended up in the position where I am right now. So approximately 25, 30 years ago, I started it in the industry by being primarily a guy who played a lot of games and not expected that to be turning into a career. So as I was playing games, I was very fascinated not only by the games, but by the design, by the coding, by going into the details of how a game world has been created. And that was way back in the 90s. In 99, there was an offer for me to join a TV station as an editor. I have already mastered my degree in movie directing, and that was my passion, and I wanted to move to actual digital world. And the reach for me was actually joining a TV station as an offline and online editor. And I spent my career there, gathered some knowledge, but it was kind of not exactly the field I wanted to be in. And lucky enough, for a person who lives in Bulgaria and in Sofia, there was an American company who was looking for a continuation of their shooting period because they were shooting in South Africa and there were some problems, domestic problems, and they need to move someplace in Europe. So they decided to check a couple of countries, and we ended up to be the selection. So Bulgaria was the one selected, and the American company, Hollywood company, came to Bulgaria to continue their movie. And the movie was with Jean-Claude Van Damme, by the way, back in the days in the 2000s. So when they came to Bulgaria and they shot it here, they have found out something that was very unique and very precious for them, that there is a movie industry personnel in Bulgaria, because Bulgaria used to have some of the biggest movie production back in the communist day in the era of the 80s. And Bulgaria is producing something like 100 movies per year. None of those were good enough to be shown. But we have people with a lot of experience and workaholics who knew how to service a production. So the American company decided to stay in Bulgaria, and that's where on the scope of everything comes my mentor and my first actual employee from Hollywood. His name is Scott Coulter. He decided to form a company for visual effects and computer graphics in Bulgaria and Sofia because of the personnel that he can train. So the company started in 2000 with 3 people and 5 computers. I was not initially in the company for circumstances that I'll tell you when we were sitting on a drink sometimes. But 2-3 months after that, I have joined the team, and I was appointed to be an editor and to expedite all the shots for the clients and supervising them. In a matter of 7 months, I have been offered the position of VFX supervisor, and I have become to supervise my own movies. And this is how my career in the visual effects started. It was something very fascinating for me because I had reached to major Hollywood movies. We, of course, had to go through a period of education, understanding what tools to use, how to organize, how to work with spreadsheets, and everything that a major company is supposed to do. We were yelled at a lot that we didn't know what are we doing and why are we doing it from Bulgaria, not in the LA region. But we were actually a very tight team that really wanted to prove themselves. And by the year of 2004, 2006, we have become close to 20 people initially. 2006, we became 68. And then the magic continued and the luck continued to happen. In 2006, Bulgaria was about to join European Union, and one of the biggest facility in Bulgaria and on the Balkans was offered for a privatization session. And that was the big movie cinema center in Bulgaria named Boyana that was inherited by the old communist era. It's a big, huge building, looks like a castle. Of course, not very well thought through, small rooms that can only fit 5 people total, but it was a working facility. So New Image, the American company, New Image actually was the one who won the bid for it. And since 2006 till today, they own the place and they're running it by attracting a lot of productions there. So how did that change our perspective? We were capable of working on the outside, not only in the stages, but there was construction happening. We've built Hollywood style stages on the outside. We have created a district that was New York kind of look-alike, and then we have a London look-alike. We have a Roman set, a Greek set, so everything that was on the outside. And we had plenty of production back then. And in 2007 till 2010, we grew the studio to close to 400 people, 450 people plus. In 2007, I have became the operational manager and managing director of the company. And since 2014 till 2017, I was the CEO of the company. Since in 2014, Scott, my mentor, the American guy, he decided to go back to LA and basically live a very nice life of a producer there. So during this time, I had the pleasure to work plenty of movies from script to screen, as we like to call it. And my primarily goal was to help the productions with visual effects, in this case, visual art. And what was that? And we keep mentioning visual effects and what are the visual effects. But before I jump to that, let me just tell a little bit about the movies that we have created and how the career expanded. So we were offered to do, at the beginning, our major first movie was Conan the Barbarian with now the so-reckoned Jason Momoa, the Aquaman. He was very young and talented, and the movie was very exciting for us to do. Then we've done Hercules, which was very famous for one very bad, one of the worst CGI in the world, VFX in the world, which was created by my team, and I was very embarrassed to do that, but we were pushed to the wall to get a lion that, if you research in the internet, you will see the lion that looks like just a horrible thing. But of course, every bad experience is a lesson learned. So we moved, of course, to the next big franchise. And in 2010, we started The Expendables, which was opening up the gates for us to create some of the best movies we've ever done. So Expendables 1, 2, and 3. But then, of course, we started with Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, and Angel Has Fallen. We worked on the mechanic. And my latest one was Hitman's Bodyguard and Hitman's Bodyguard's Wife. So all those movies, all of the visual effects were designed by the team in Guyana, the one that I was leading. And all of those were created by us. But what are the visual effects? What exactly is visual effects? And I keep mentioning visual effects. And visual effects is a reference of something that cannot be shot. So this is the priority. First, safety on set. So whenever something can be achieved practically, let's say we want to have a chopper on set that is spinning its blades and we have to have action happening around it and everything like that. So in 100% of the cases, the chopper actually doesn't have a blades unless it's really lifting off and the security is taken care of. But most of the time, the blades are added later in the post-production by a computer-generated artist, and he creates the blades so everybody's safe and the camera can move freely. Whenever there is a stunt or whenever there is an explosion, the visual effects helps tremendously to enhance the feeling and enhance the visuals of it all. The best application for visual effects is the mixture between the practical shoot and the computer-generated images after that. By the way, VFX are also very commonly known as CGI. CGI is an abbreviation for computer-generated imagery. So CGI is, let's call it fake, done by a computer. So in a lot of the cases, you will see something that is there and looks absolutely believable, but in the same time, it doesn't exist. And in the next slide, I'm going to show you a couple of examples of what visual effects actually looks like. So on to your right-hand side, it's going to be Mr. Jason Statham in the movie Mechanic. This is an environment that we had to create that was shot in the stage. And this is a closed environment stage when the guy is being hanging by cables or by wires, and he's sliding down the ramp, that construction. And then you see the final result that we have created the skyscraper, and the skyscraper is positioned in the area of Hong Kong, and he is actually sliding down a skyscraper with all the reflection, all the weather effects and everything that is happening there. So this is what a team creates. So the team starts from the script, designing all those, talking to the director, talking to the DOP, director of photography, and designing the way the camera is going to look like and what we need to see and what we need to create and recreate for every viewer to believe that this is actually a real location and a practical stunt. I love to do a joke here. That is when Jason Statham is being revealed that he's not such the action hero, that he's not actually sliding on the side of the skyscraper, because there are some actors that we famously know are doing that. There was a guy who was hanging by taking off airplane. I think his name was Tom Cruise. But in this case, Jason is not that type of guy, although he's really a very talented actor and very tough guy. So I hope I'm not going to see him very soon in a bar and he's going to kick my ass for revealing the way we do the magic for him and he becomes an action hero. So this is one of the approach that we are doing, creating the environment, designing all the stunts in that. So this is the safety first application for the visual effects. And on the left-hand side, you see from the movie London Has Fallen, the explosion, actually the demolition of Chelsea Bridge. Chelsea Bridge is an existing bridge in London. That's a very famous location. In the script of the movie, all London has been demolished, and one of the explosions happens actually on the Chelsea Bridge. We really wanted to convince the mayor and everybody to do a practical explosion there. So of course, nobody letting us do that. So of course, we had to recreate it all. And what happens is we are sending a team of artists and photographers and VFX supervisor on the spot, and they're taking reference photos of every little detail that is there. All the railings, all the cables, all the bits and pieces, all the bolts, all the signs, all the graffiti, everything is taken into consideration and then created in a computer model, then textured, and then of course all of that, the technique is called rig, and the simulation is being run, and all that is a very, very hard, very expensive work that needs to happen. Later on, I'll show you a breakdown, visual effects breakdown of the effects and how that thing plays in the movie, so you can see the actual explosions and how much of it is fake, although in the movie you would not guess that this is actually not being shot on the place and was not done practically. So what we do is we gather a huge team, and on that movie we had close to 450 people working, and those people work on those sequences divided by teams of 150 people for close to 10 months. And it was a very interesting process of creating everything and working with the director and designing everything from the beginning, from the scratch. In most of the cases, the work on those sequences start even before the movie has been shot, so you can start working and gather all the information for the actors to know what's going on and how to react on it. And then on the next one, you actually see the explosion that is sideways on the Chelsea Bridge. So on the left-hand side, you see the explosion. That was a simulation. All of the cars that you see are actual models, 3D models of cars that are textures, and those are something that is actually one-to-one. There is an interesting story, funny story here. They want us to smash one car, and the car they wanted to smash was supposed to be the most expensive car in the world, and we got a Bugatti Veyron that is actually being transported on a truck. And when the pillar smashes, it smashes actually the Bugatti Veyron. That was a request by GÉRARD Butler. He really wanted it. He really enjoyed that effect. So we tore the cables. We've done really amazing job, in my opinion, here. So the team was very, very exciting. And that was one of the hardest one we pulled off. We really put our time and effort into getting this completed. And later on, you'll see it played back. Another thing on the next slide, when visual effects are really very useful, is not only safety and not only creating explosions and enhancing those, but actually creating environments and shooting on places that are not allowed to be shot. On the left-hand side, you see the St. Paul Cathedral, the existing St. Paul Cathedral in London. That was one of the locations that a lot of the terrorist acts happened in the movie. And we were absolutely forbidden. No money could have buy us that location for us to shoot on it. And it was a big sequence. We were supposed to bring a lot of cars there. The presidential, United States presidential car was supposed to be there, the Beast. And we had to have extra. So it was going to be closed for approximately 1.5, 2 days. And that's not an option for London because the congestion and the traffic jam is going to be really, really insane. And they just didn't allow us at all to block that location. So we use a very interesting technique. We used that technique back in the previous movie, in Olympus Has Fallen. We built St. Paul Cathedral only 3 meters in depth and 20 meters in height and probably 7, 8 meters in length. That was just like a frame that was positioned, and everything around it was CGI extended and digital extended. Once again, a team of probably 20 artists went to London. They took aerial photography. They took on the side photography. There is a very famous sushi place right next to it. We have taken, once again, all the signs and all the commercials that are placed there. And everybody was very, very exciting to recreate that environment and make it photoreal. So none of the people that watch the movie actually expect that this sequence has been done not on location. And we saved a lot of money in this case. And of course, we almost killed the team to get it done in the time that we had. But I'm very, very proud of that sequence because it's really, really nice. So those are the techniques that we are using in the visual effects. We're creating and helping the productions create something that's not achievable by making it. And why the visual effects are so fascinating for me, because the one thing that is the biggest goal and the biggest pleasure of mine is actually to create visual effects that are indistinguishable by the actual practical set. We are not aiming to do, in this case, Marvel movies or Transformers, because all those are fake and they're really amazing. Great job. But I love the fact that you can create the visual effects and nobody can tell that this is done by a computer. And the magic is creating something that we call it photorealism. So to be photoreal. And the way this is done is we create the models, then we took the photography that is done there. By the way, we're also using LiDAR. This is a technique that measures distances, and everything is measured, and it's providing like a point cloud. So on the right-hand side, when the submarine is, you see the point cloud. This is all the dots where the structure is being measured. And then that thing gets textured from the gray shade. It takes the photography, you position the photography as a textures on top of it, you bend it, you squeeze it, you do whatever you need to do, and make it really, really amazing. Then you do the look development, which is providing the lighting in the rendering. The most important thing in computer graphic is the lighting. So the artists that are capable of doing proper lighting and making everything looks like if it's lit from a natural source, that's one of the best artists in the world. And as you see in those progressions from the gray shade to the texture one to the properly lit scene and render scene, you see what difference it makes and how things are looking really, really splendid. So without further ado, I want to show you a little bit of video. This is called the VFX breakdown of London Has Fallen, and you will be able to see how much work has been done and how much computer-generated images has been used instead of the practical ones. but you will notice that it's always a combination between a practical one and a computer-generated one, because the blending of those two is really when the magic happens. And now on the next slide, we are going to show you the the VFX breakdown. So enjoy. Alrighty, so you've seen that this is the way we create our movie magic. So what you've seen basically is the main technology behind the computer-generated images, and one of the best things that I have done to create those worlds with a team, very talented team of people, and recreating environments. So why is this so important when we move on to the next phase, which was how did we ended up working for the GYMSTREET and the Metaverse and the Gym networks? In 2017, I have decided that I've worked for 20 years for the company, and it was about time for me to start being a little bit more clever, as all of you guys are. And I decided to invest my time into something that I own and start controlling my finances. So that's exactly when I decided to take a 2 years break from 17 to 19. I've done a little bit of research, and in 2019, I have formed the ImmerseFX team and the company, starting basically from scratch all over again with 2 people and just a small bunch of work. But I have already made a name for myself and the connections that I had. So work was not an issue. Work was not a problem. I wanted to have a very unique niche of working very, very unique stuff with a very talented team. So in 2019, when we started it, 3 months after forming the company, COVID hit. And I was very happy to announce that we went through COVID without shutting the doors, or we didn't have any lack of works or opportunities to work. We didn't even work remotely. Everything was done here in the office. So in the years that follows, in the next 3 years, I have managed to gather 25 amazing artists that are really, really very talented from different aspects of the visual effects. And we have managed to be a very diverse studio who can create basically from music videos and commercials to really big projects. And what I wanted also to do was to expand into the world of Unreal Engine, Unity, and visuals for the virtual environments, and we wanted to explore a lot of it. We even had a small team of people that were working with Unity and with Unreal Engine, which was very exciting for us. So in 2022, I was approached by Frank and the company and Eugene and the rest, and they were discussing it. Okay, so we have that amazing idea. How can we make it happen? And since we were in business relationship with them, and it was a very close partnership, we had the company that is inside of the structure of GYMSTREET, and we offered ImmerseFX to take over the creation and the supervision for the metaverse. And what does that mean? What is the creation, and why our skills in creating environments was very useful? So the team was creating everything here in Bulgaria that was shot, and turning Bulgaria into Holland, into United States, into London. We've turned our environment and natural beauty into looking like a jungle, looking like a river dam, or something like that. So we had a lot of experience how to create environments and turn places that don't look at all like something to something that is very familiar. And this is the skill that we have. But on top of that, we also have some talented artists who are, their background was coming from architecture, engineering, and interior design, and even product design. So they are very, very good at understanding what a product needs to look like. Of course, all of us are still gamers. We love to play games. And at the end of the day, we know that creating a world is something like creating the worlds that we've all played, like from SimCity to World of Warcraft. And that knowledge also helps us tremendously to build what we are about to show you. So let me show you the process of how we actually create assets for GYMSTREET, and what was exactly the connection between the movie business and creating the assets that you see right now. So I'm very happy to announce that we work with all the partners that partnered with GYMSTREET and that have bought parcels and that have positioned their buildings into those. And it's a very, very exciting process, because we not only get to design their buildings, but we also get to understand their business model and get to understand their interior structures and how to help and accommodate this into the design of the building and in the interior functions of the buildings. So what you see right now actually is one existing business that's working. It's in Switzerland. One of the last trips that we had, actually, we were in Switzerland, and it was very exciting for me because one of the businesses were in there was in the metaverse. So usually what we do, we would receive references. We'll start conversation with the client, and in this case, it was working, and many others, of course, like Alpaca Finance and many of the other ones. So we sat down with them, and we were either given some examples of their existing offices and their existing buildings, or we were given examples of something that they like as references. So our team would sit down and create 10, 20, 50, in some cases, architectural design that are only gray shaded. The one on the top left one that you see is only gray shaded. So once we like the shape of the building, they like the shape of the building, we start actually to get a little bit more into it. And what we do is we investigate the color scheme of the company. What is their primary color? What are their logos, to identify that building as their own? So then we will provide them with the texture version of it. And once we have the texture version, we can implement the building into the metaverse. And I think, Timo, this actually is a playable video that you have on the building. Work it if you can play it.
Yes, it is. Should we play it?
If it's possible, yeah. Let's do that. So you can see that we want to position the building for the client to see it and to get a feeling of the scale, how it's going to look like and what it will look like. And the interesting part about working is that if you go and check their website, you can see the interior offices that they're renting and the office spaces that they're renting. And now when we go inside of the building, you will find the similarity between their offices, the practical one, existing offices, with the ones that are here. We've managed to take exactly the environment, the color scheme, the lighting conditions for them to mimic exactly what their place in real life looks like and the one in our metaverse is. And this is exactly how we create the process of creating the businesses and the buildings in our metaverse. Of course, it's not only that, there's plenty more that sits behind it, but This is basically what we're inviting everybody to do. Even if it's a private owned land and you want to create your own villa or your own resort, our team is going to be here to help you out tremendously, because the team, as I've told you, has some very, very talented artists who can provide you with ideas. But we also are looking to find a way to execute your ideas if you have one. So your dream house or your dream office or your dream interior can be happening here. And the team is ready to assist with that. So this is exactly one of the things that we were doing. So you've seen the process of creating it, but why ImmerseFX is and GYMSTREET is so exciting? It's very exciting because we were able to very fast create a proof of concept for the metaverse and the experience that you can have by wearing glasses and visiting the metaverse. So one of the things we have actually is we have proven that we do have a working environment that you can get into, use all the technology, and interact with the surrounding, walk around, and get everything done. There is still a long road ahead of us that I'll keep you posted in our next webinars. But basically, what you will see here is our colleague Nikki, who is using the Oculus 2 VR glasses, which in these cases are one of the best ones on the market right now. They cost $499 or $399, something like that. And the best thing is that they're very powerful as a processor power, and they're independent. So this headset is independent. There are no cables. It works only via internet. So if you have wireless, it works. And this is really, really amazing for your freedom of movement. It's very light and it's very, very good as a quality. So we're using this one. Of course, we will be able to stream that on various devices that are still to come. And I'll tell you a little bit more about my future prediction, what the world's going to look like in a couple of years. But now you will see him interacting and actually walking around in our metaverse. And what I can tell you about it is this, that we are right now working on the more complex stuff, which in this case is that we have started working and developing the networking, which means that your avatar will be able to see other avatars and interact with them, given the fact that it's allowed, of course, to do that. We are working on communication lines like voice control or chat messages, and filtering those the way that you can talk to your friends only, or talk to the all surrounding people, or limit only a couple of people, and being able to send messages there. So he's walking around. This is the proof of concept of the outside and giving you the example of the scale of everything. This is an early version that has been developed probably 4 or 5 months ago. Now we're into our next stage, and the graphic is also better right now. You'll be able to see that in our video Kabuto Troy probably next week or the week after that. But we have improved a lot of the models and everything. And one of the things is that not only you'll be able to walk on the outside and interact with the surrounding and use the transportation system, which we're now developing to have some capabilities for you to use transportation from one point to the other, but also to probably get a subway. So not only that, you have the options to get into the buildings and use whatever services they are. Not forgetting the main goal. The main goal is to provide the at one spot all the financial tools for you to experience finances and to make your money work for you. So as you see, Nikki now is going to be able to get his wallet and look at his wallet, which will be secured and private for only his account and user to see. He'll have the communication devices like his iPhone and the iPad, and he can check his wallet. So in this case, the vault, you will have either an actual avatar run by a person or an AI assistant to communicate with you and provide you with the systems. So this is also one of the things we're doing. We constantly talk to the businesses in terms of, okay, what are the options? What is your services? What do you provide and how do you provide it? And what do you need for us to service and get it done for all the users to experience your services? So it's a very, very exciting project for us. There is still plenty of work ahead of us, but it's a beginning and it's a very unique experience, because one of the things I know for sure is the vision of Eugene behind it is really, really amazing, because I really love the fact that it's one of a kind. I don't think anybody else can execute that to that perfection level. But also, it's a challenging project for us that we are very excited to move forward on it. So what is next to come, and why do I really, really believe that this is something that you guys should experience and really enjoy the most. We are looking to create a world that you can enjoy staying and not only do the activities of your financial businesses, but also to participate in some fun activities, grow up your wallet, grow up your NFT collections. One of the major things that I'm trying to implement right here, right now, is actually for this to be compatible with all the other ones. Because my vision, I have been asked yesterday on the Korean, I think, or on the German webinar, what is the future of those and why choose GYMSTREET Metaverse rather than Decentraland? And in my view, all of those are working in niches that at one point I feel like those will be combined into one field, and you'll be able to transport from one to the other one. And one of the things that we're trying really to establishing is the compatibility. So whatever you have in your wallet as NFTs, as 3D models, as you own those, it will be coded and you have those in the blockchain. So you will be the owner of those and you can easily transport those to the other open platforms. And also you can bring your stuff from the outside in GYMSTREET. So I'm really looking forward to this one to expand and to build more connections. Of course, there is a conduct of behavior that we are also talking to legal right now that we want to implement. What is the way that you'll be behaving? One of the things I'm very excited is in the next probably months, we will be inviting to join our team one of the best game directors in the world, in my opinion. He's been working with Ubisoft and he's a game director there. Ubisoft are a very famous German company who has their offices here in Bulgaria also because of the talented people that work here. And he's behind right now one of the best games in the world, which is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And it's really, really something amazing. And the guy is very talented. I can't wait to get him to tell us more about how to make the existence and time spent in our metaverse to be more and more exciting, and what games we can implement and what achievements we can implement. And this will be something that I'm really, really looking forward to. The other thing is in the next couple of weeks, we'll be introducing it not only to GYMSTREET, but there is another 3 additions to it, which would be very, very exciting. And I'm really looking forward to get your plots and your parcels and basically really develop those into an oasis of happiness that you can guys have. And it's really, really exciting, in my opinion, what's going on. The team is also very pumped. We can't wait to show you things that are behind. But at this point, I will probably leave that to the next webinar and not open up the curtains to the full pictures right now. I'm very looking forward to the next future of the metaverses. And here is also the technology that sits behind that I'm really thinking that is going to happen. And this is speculation on my end, but I think I'm logical about it. I do believe that in the next 2 to 3 years, those devices will be the one that will be swapped and changed, because right now our smartphones are taking our time and they're doing what they're doing. But this device actually can be replaced by smart glasses. And in my opinion, a lot of companies are showing now progress in developing smart glasses. The only limitations that we have right now in the technology is actually that you need a bulky heat dispensing glasses in front of you. But there is now a breakthrough in managing to do that in a smaller glasses that are only with the lenses, and they work not only as a VR glasses, but they work also as an AR glasses. So this is the XR, we call it, the extended reality. So VR is virtual reality, AR is augmented reality, and XR is extended reality. So all those combined together will be capable of being projected onto a very special glasses that I'm believing is going to be the next big thing, either coming from Apple or either coming from Meta. Facebook in this case. And I do believe that you'll be able to walk around the streets and check on the prices of the sneakers of a person that walks next to you, and where you can purchase that and purchase it on the spot, and that can wait for you at home. Go to a shopping mall and look at the things, and you can just select what you want to do, and it will be waiting for you at the cash register at the very end of it. Or you'll be able to do your meetings and your phone conversations immediately with the person in front of you projected on your glasses. So I think this is a technology that we are already there. It's just a matter of time for it to get in. And one of the things I believe is going to be very useful is because it will bring us back the freedom of our hands. So not be sitting on our devices with our 2 hands or 1 hand being constantly busy. and it gives you the freedom of movement and interaction on a very different scale that we are already doing that. And looking at my kids that are playing the games on the VR, they're so intuitive and they can do all that. So I know for a fact that this is, in my opinion, is going to be the future of it all. So once we have all those glasses with the devices like that one, it will be very easy for us to save time and to save effort in terms of how do you do your activities throughout the day, and have your conference calls and have your visitations and have your business deals being done in a virtual environment. That will be really saving us time in traveling, in accommodation, in everything, and it will give you more time to spend in your favorite activities, in this case playing golf and spending time with family, I hope. So this is the future, in my opinion, and that's why we're very excited to move to the next phase of GYMSTREET and show you guys the interior of the world. That's very beautiful, and all the interior designs that we have done, and start working with the companies to provide you with the services that they are being given option for us to service. And it will be a very exciting time in the next couple of years, hopefully in the next decade. So this is a tool that really, I strongly believe it's very useful, and I can't wait to move it forward as much as we can. So I think that covers our involvement from ImmerseFX. Of course, I'm going to ask the very lovely host, Timur, if I'm missing something, because he knows all my flow, and if I miss something very important, to get back to you and stand it, and probably also have another, let's say 10 to 15 minutes if there are any questions that if we have time, and Timo, if you decide to get some answers.
Yes, well, that was very insightful. Thank you so much, Jordan. I mean, even though I've been listening to you now a few times already, it's always like I'm discovering something new every time I listen to you again. And it's so amazing to see that we have such an expert here, you know, within our team that is absolutely capable, that has all the knowledge, all the skills, and the expertise and experience, as we've seen in the beginning, more than 15 years of experience in the movie business. He is a great fan of, you know, playing games, which is also a great benefit that now comes into play when it comes to creating our metaverse. So I'm not sure if there are any questions, so I just posted here in the chat to see if anyone wants to ask some questions, but I'm also now going to open up the security settings again, so people are now able to unmute themselves, or you can even start your video if you like, to ask Jordan some questions. So, and I see Marco is already coming out. I think you've been waiting for this, like, when can I ask my question? When can I ask my question? So let's go.
Thank you so much, Timur. It's really great to hear all about the development of the GYMSTREET Metaverse, Jordan. It's really like hands up for us here in Asia, specifically here in the Philippines. Now you've been developing, I believe it's already on the 2D, going 2.5D, and then early next year it's going to be like 3D already for the GYMSTREET Metaverse on the Manhattan Island. We're so really we're so excited to see that into completion. But moving forward, we've been seeing also promotions of the Cash FT Island, and that's another platform or metaverse platform that we're looking forward, connected with, of course, the cryptocurrency card. My question is, I've opened up with Lewis during our call last week. I asked him, do you have any idea which island or which country is Cash FT? Since we have Japan already, and we're moving forward to Africa as well, financial district. Now the Cash FT, just jokingly, like requested Lewis, like, can we do the Cash FT for the 7,107 islands in the Philippines? So yeah, my question is like, have you identified already a metaverse island for the Cash FT?
Should we tell them?
Jordan.
Well, I know what it is. Yes, it's going to be revealed quite soon, and I'm sure that you will recognize immediately once you see the first showcase productions that we have in place here.
Let me tell you a little hint without actually revealing it, because we want you guys to enjoy the moment of the reveal. All of the places, the GYMSTREET, the Kabuto and Cash FT, and the one that's coming after that are actual places, and they're mapped based on the actual existing places. And of course, all of those are connected somehow to the financial industry and are in many cases very famous for big finances being happening exactly in this area for the regions they are corresponding. So that's as much as I can tell you right now. I want you to wait and see, because as GYMSTREET and Kabuto and Cash FT, they are real location in the world, and we're mapping those based on the architecture there. And I can't wait to show you what Kabuto and Cash FT initial videos look like. The team right now is actually working on Cash FT, bringing it to life and bringing the whole presentation video of the surrounding. And I can tell you that they really look stunning, and I can't wait to see your reaction, guys, on those.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for that, Jordan. Timur, perhaps this is a question for you. At the moment, how many percent have we sold? As we can see, it's moving like every minute, hours, daily. That there's a lot of virtual lands that's being sold on our Manhattan Metaverse Island. Are we at already 50%, or still like we are at 30-40%?
Now, this can be answered quite easily. Let's come over here and just go to our dashboard. So I have that over here. And you can see even without being logged in, you can see here at the top that we are currently 18%. So we have 210,000 land parcels available in total on Manhattan Island, which is our original GYMSTREET. And 37,589 have been sold so far, which is close to 18%.
All right. Amazing. Thank you so much for that, Timur.
Yeah, I mean...
Hello, Timur from Dubai, and hello, Jordan. I miss you guys.
Hi, Chris.
I would like you. Someone wants to say hi to you, Queen Jordan from GYMSTREET. Later, I will show it. Yeah, she's saying hi, and also Marietta, we're here. Hi, Benji. Hi, guys. We're here listening to your presentation from Dubai.
So this is a real international crowd. I'm really excited. Everybody's from everywhere.
Benji's the best.
Yeah, we have leaders from Vietnam as well. We have leaders from Malaysia, Indonesia with us,
so cool.
and all over the Philippines. So we have many leaders from our community.
Yes, well, this is of course an awesome opportunity, as many of you guys are joining GYMSTREET to use it as a means of building a business, right? Since we have this affiliate system attached and integrated on blockchain level. This is quite interesting, as you guys know, because it really does distinguish us again from other systems in that perspective as well. Maybe a few more things. But first, before we continue here, is there any other specific question that you guys would like to ask Jordan, if he still has a minute or two left? If not, I will just go ahead and talk about a few more things from our end. and then we can wrap it up for today. What we're going to do, the idea is to have this special webinar with the ImmerseFX CEO Jordan Markov approximately once per month, so that we can, keep you posted, as he already said, and he will do his behind the scenes talk, of course, but then it will also give us the opportunity to show you the progress, as it's happening behind the scenes, what we're currently working on. He talked about transportation systems, security settings, walking into the buildings, interior design. So there are many, many things to talk about and show you guys, but since we only have 1 hour per webinar, as a time frame, it's not that much time to go into all these details. So we can, save some up for next month then. So if there are not any more specific questions, I would say that we can say thank you so much for Jordan for taking your time to join us in this live webinar. Everyone is very, very grateful for you doing this. And I'm sure that you guys found this super insightful as well. Oh, Paddington, do we have time for one more question, Jordan?
Sure.
He's asking, how will the 3D design look like in our very own land parcel? Does buying / choosing a location matter? Well, the location, of course, it will matter, like what your neighborhood will look like, but maybe you can give a few ideas of what the individual design of each person's individual land parcels is going to look like. Since not everyone will be like a business partner to get their own individual buildings and so on. Right now, we can place miners on our land parcels, but that's happening not even on the 2D level, right? It's just something that we do in the dashboard. We attach miners to the land parcels as NFTs and so on. But what's this all going to look like later in the 3D world?
So let me answer that one backwards. Does buying, choosing location matters? Yes, of course it matters, because Manhattan is going to be divided in 3 areas, starting outwards to inwards. So you have the one land that is on the seaside. So you have basically an environment that is more looking like a seaside. So you have sand and grass and little vegetations. When we move a little bit forward, further inside of the land, you have more like an urban type of structure for the land, the plot itself. And when we move to the interior, it will be mostly rocky and concrete. So we want to design the world so it's visually pleasing. We don't want to create something that is over built and that it doesn't give you an opportunity to enjoy yourself there. So when it comes to design of your own parcel, we will be providing options in terms of what is going to be the building plot exactly. So we'll start with the blueprint. You have options to choose your blueprint. And of course, you have also the options to design your own. So it will work exactly like this is, once again, it's not confirmed, but that's my proposition to the Metaverse crowd. And the proposition is like that. We'll have a unified plot of lands, a plot of buildings that you can choose from, let's say square, quadrant, triangular, and so many more different ones that you can choose from. And this is going to be your blueprint. On top of that blueprint, you have the ways to design your buildings, your own, or ones that coming from a database of, let's call it marketplace. And you have different types of walls, different types of textures, different types of textile, different types of furniture. You will be able to choose from all of those, all by yourself, just like playing a game, creating your character. But also you have the options to actually sit down with the team and for an additional beautification of your plot, we can design exactly your dream house or your dream villa or your dream, let's call it venture. And because you can design it so it serves whatever specific needs you want to be provided. Keep in mind that this is working exactly as it will work into the real environment. You will have a plot of land that you can develop, and then it can be sold out, or it can be rented out, or you can have it commercialized in different ways and options. So it's very exciting. But of course, there will be some restrictions that will be placed in the end user agreement once we have the 3D world being developed. We are talking with legal in terms of what restrictions there might be. Of course, we don't want to have something that is very, very unpleasant for the people's world. Sorry, excuse my English, but Timo knows I'm very frank and honest. We don't want to build a phallus looking building in the middle of our Manhattan. That will, of course, not be allowed. And I want to keep everything to be very professional and looking like very slick for our GYMSTREET Wall Street to look like very financial orientated with a lot of glasses and a lot of concrete looking really, really slim. So this is my understanding for how the plots will be presented, and the incorporation of it all will be on a plot by plot basis. We are looking to combine activities, so you have different spots when you'll be developing different activities. But that's exactly what we are thinking at this moment to be implementing. Does that hopefully, Paddington, answers your question?
I would think yes. Paddington asked that, and Barbie joined in asking, will there be restriction on our lots in the 3D world? You partly answered it already. And then she goes on, like, it has to be purely corporate, or can it be residential? I would say that's mostly up to you, as you said, right, Jordan? If someone wants to represent their business on their piece of land, you can go ahead and do that. So there are no restrictions regarding that. If you would like to have a residential building there, or maybe no building, it could also be the woods or a river or a lake, if there's enough space. So many things are going to come, and almost anything will be possible, of course, since it's CGI. We can make things happen that are not possible in reality. That's why we use these technologies, as we learned in the beginning about visual effects. However, it comes down to our then end user agreement that's still under development. And as you know from our regular presentations, is that by the second quarter 2024, so just about roughly 1 year from now, we are planning to release the full 3D world. So until then, all these end user agreements, things like that, have to be thought through and put into a writing and all that, so that we can then come together as a community and also have a set of rules as to how to behave inside that community. All right, so I have just a few more things from my end, but actually just one more slide, which we could go ahead and show here, because remember, as we acquired Kabuto Show, yes, Jordan, I think you need to go, right? You have...
I really need to go.
Yes.
First
Thank
of all,
you so much again for your time.
Pleasure. Looking forward, guys, to see you and meeting you even in person. There is a good surprise coming in the next 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to see you and give you more details. So whenever you want, through Timo or to the channels, reach out, ask questions. I'll be very happy to answer all those and show a bit more details on the next webinar. So it was a pleasure, Timo. Thank you so much. I really need to run and check on our metaverse development.
All right. Thank you so much, Jordan, for taking the time.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Bye from me. Enjoy.
Bye, Jordan. All right. Well, that was Jordan Markov, the CEO of ImmerseFX, our in-house metaverse company. And I'm sure you guys liked him. He is an awesome person with many skills, lots of experience in his field, but also a very nice person, very nice character on top of that. Now, regarding GYMSTREET and the next steps that are going to come here. So on this slide right here, what I just wanted to talk about, and then I think we should find an end for today, as we're already 1 hour into this webinar, that we started out as GYMSTREET, which originated from Manhattan Island right here. So this was the initial idea to create like the financial district in the metaverse, and it's still the financial district in the metaverse. However, it's going to be a combination of many financial districts from all over the world. So we started out with GYMSTREET derived from Wall Street, Manhattan Island. So This will become probably Manhattan, and next to it we will have Kabutosho, which we recently acquired, and where we're now in the process of integrating it into our metaverse. So there's going to be a second world that will be accessible. And this is just to give you an idea of what our dashboard might look like in the future. So you will have the choice, okay, do I want to enter GYMSTREET? You know, do I want to be on Manhattan, or would I rather be in Kabutosho, the Japanese financial district? Cash FT Island will also be accessible here and coming soon. This is just to indicate that we're going to add more financial districts from all over the world, which could, for example, be London to bring Europe into our metaverse as well, or maybe South Africa to also have, you know, for our African community, a place where they would like to gather. And also very important for you guys to know is that these different metaverses, different financial districts will also come up with different products to suit, you know, to better meet, let's call it that, the needs or the what the community is, you know, is capable of. So for example, Japanese people, they have, you know, higher average income as someone in South Africa, for example. So you might want to offer products that for specific people from specific places in the world will be more affordable, right? And with that, these different metaverses, different financial districts will also then suit different needs and different demands that we have from our customers. Cash FT Island has a special role here because that metaverse can only be, or you can only own land on Cash FT Island if you actually purchase the Cash FT card. But before we get to that part, let's have a quick look at Kabutosho, because what we didn't talk about yet is that we already have prepared another VR showcase scene showing you what Kabutosho Metaverse is going to look like. So let's have a quick look at that right here now. This is again without tone, but you can already see the enhancement, right? Look at the textures. I think they have already improved compared to the initial GYMSTREET animation that we received, and that's where you can already tell, so with each version, how we are going to improve and, you know, add more quality to it. And as we briefly talked about the Cash FT card already, so it is going to be released very, very soon. It's right around the corner. We're in the final steps right here, so early March, maybe even next week already, as we are already in March. Today it's the 1st March as we're recording this webinar. And then finally, to wrap it up, just to remind you guys that we have a link tree. So linktree/Gymnat. This is where you find all our social media channels combined in one place. You can just go here. You will find our Twitter, Instagram, you know, Facebook, YouTube, of course, very important if you haven't yet, that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where you get, you know, all the relevant information when it comes to webinar recordings, but also video tutorials that show you how to get started here with GYMSTREET. All right, so I'm now going to end the recording for the official part. Thank you very much for joining in this week, and I hope that I will see many more of you again next time when we're going to invite Jordan here again. So